Hello everyone, and welcome to our first lesson on using SketchUp, which is a free web-based 3D modeling software. And since we do not have Autodesk Inventor or Autodesk Revit with us right now, we're going to be learning how to use this program. So what we're going to be learning about in this lesson is how to sign up for SketchUp, how to orbit and pan around the model space, how to create 2D and 3D constructions with the line tool, rectangle, arc, and circle tools, how to specify dimensions of a 2D object, and how to use the push-pull tool to make 3D figures. Now this is my first recording, so please bear with me as I get used to this. So let's go over to SketchUp.com. And once you do that, my icon might be in the way, but click on Try SketchUp right here in the top right corner. Once you've done that, we're going to sign up. I use SketchUp we're going to select personal, and you can use any email that you want. We're going to create an account, sign up with any email that you want to sign up with. I'll use my university email, for example. And my first name, last name, and I'll type in a password to use. I'm not a robot. So click on all the fun pictures. And click on Create New Account. Cool. Now at this point, it's asking that you log into that email and verify or activate your account. So I will do that on my phone. Now, of course, at any point, you can pause, rewind, anything like that to catch up and do what you need to do. That's the great thing about having a video like this. So I did activate my account on my phone, so now I'm ready to log in. So here's my email. Next, I'll type in my password. And you should see this screen right here as it's loading. So I use SketchUp for, we already did that, let's get to know each other. Interest. Click whatever you want. Or I'll click on architecture. And I agree. And continue to my apps. And all we need is SketchUp for web. So we'll launch that. And now it's loading. Now what you'll probably want to do is, now that you have logged in and we're now in the web-based model space, I would probably bookmark this. So I'll bookmark, put it on my bookmarks bar, call it SketchUp. And then we have to agree to any terms. And here, finally, now we're ready to actually start designing something. So click on Create New, and we'll click on, you can click on any one of these depending on the units that you want to use. I'll use feet and inches, simple template feet and inches. And here's the space. So let's start with this, how to zoom in and out, how to pan, and how to orbit. So if you are using a mouse, such as this one, you can use your middle mouse button to scroll in and out. So I'm pushing in with my middle mouse button, now I'm pushing out, and that's how you would zoom. For orbiting, if you have a mouse like this one, you'll push down that middle mouse button and you'll orbit around. Now this is a little bit different from Inventor or AutoCAD, so that might take a little bit of getting used to. If you want to pan, you'll hold the Shift key and the middle mouse button, which is what I'm doing right now, and you can pan around. Zoom out, orbit, and pan. Now, if you do not have a mouse like this one and you're using the touchpad on your laptop, then there is a way to go about doing all of those things as well. So if you place 2 fingers on the touchpad, you can slide up and down, you can zoom in and out. To pan, if you type the H key, click on the H key, and you can see that hand pops up, and now I can left click and move around. And let go, press escape when you're done. And finally, to orbit, type in the O key, hold your left mouse button, and you can orbit around just like that. And press escape when you're done. So that's how you zoom in, pan, and orbit. Now let's get to actually creating things. First, you can see that there is a lady here. We don't need her. You can click. This is the select tool, by the way. You can select anything you want. Then we have the erase tool. So you can click on her and erase, or not. Maybe it doesn't work for the people. You can also right click and click on erase that way. It seems to like it better that way. Another thing I suggest for you to do, especially as you're learning SketchUp, is to click over here on the right side. There is this Instructor feature. So in this Instructor feature, whichever tool you've clicked on, it will tell you how to use it or what it is used for. So right now I have the Select tool activated. So this tells you what you can do with the Select tool. But we'll use that more later. Let's actually try to make some figures. I'll start with the Line tool. What we'll be using is right here. Here's the Line tool. And if you click on this, you can see 2 things. First, you can see that the Instructor tab has updated. Now it shows you how to use the Line tool. And the other thing is that you see 2 tools come out of this. We have the Line tool, and we do also have the Freehand tool. Let's try the Freehand tool first. You can hold down on the left mouse key and draw anything you want. Now, if you're careful and you're able to close that up, you can see that this inner space has highlighted. So this is a completed closed face. You can also draw something that is not enclosed, and then that space won't be highlighted as a face. Let's go back to the Select tool. See, updated on the Instructor tab. And we can highlight everything. You could also click individually, or you can highlight by dragging over everything. Or if you want to select individual things, you can hold, or you can click something first, then hold down the Control key and select anything else you would want to select. And then press the Delete key You can also click on the eraser tool and click on what you want to erase. So let's go back to the main line tool though. Let's click on line. And yes, you can start anywhere you want. But the best way to start, is to move over to the origin here. And you can see that you can snap onto the origin. After you've done that, if you want to start anywhere else, you can move up and down the blue axis, the green axis, or the red axis. If you wanted to start anywhere along these axes as well. Let's start on the origin. And so I've clicked down on the origin, and now I can even move around if I want to from there. But if I want to draw a line onto the red axis, that can be done. You don't see a line right now, but it is there. And now I'm going up and down the green axis, and I'm going up and down the blue axis. Now when you're ready, you can click anywhere you want. So let's say I click right here. There's my line. Let's continue this way. You see how this line is green? That means that you are drawing this line parallel to the green axis. Really nice feature. If you wanted to move away from there, you could. See, now I'm drawing up parallel to the blue axis, or I can even continue along the red axis. Depends. Let's make a rectangle out of this. So here, I'll click over here. See, now I'm parallel to the red axis, and I'll put red on the green axis. And then I will close on the origin. And you can see that now it's an enclosed space, so this face is highlighted. Let's delete this and try one more thing. So I'll click on the select tool, highlight everything, and click on the delete key. Cool. Let's do the same thing. Click on the line tool and just try one more thing with the line tool. You see in the bottom right corner, you see a length. So you can specify a length if you want. Let's say I want this line to be 10 feet. So I type in 10 apostrophe 10 feet. There we go. Say I want to go this way. How about we do 15 feet? 15 apostrophe enter. Then at this point, if you wanted to type in 10 feet again, you could, or you could just go right over to the green axis, set that line down, and then close, just like this. Cool. So we have now tried out the line tool and the freehand tool. Let's also try out some of these, the arc tools. All of these serve the same purpose, making an arc, as you can see, just like this. How you make that arc differs with each of these different arc tools. Let's try this one first. Hand over, using Shift and the middle key. So for this one, for this arc tool, you are starting with specifying the center. So I just clicked, and now I've specified the center. Then I need to specify the radius of this arc. You can see in the bottom right, that length is changing. That's the radius. You can also set down where you want the start of the arc to be. So let's say I want my radius to be 5 feet. So I type that in. It's in the bottom right. Press OK, or press Enter. And then you specify the angle of the arc. You might be able to snap to 90 degrees, quarter circle, or half circle, or you can specify another angle. Let's say I want my arc to have an angle measure of 240 degrees. So I've typed in 240 in the bottom right, and I press enter, and there's my arc. I'm not going to walk through all the other arc options, but those, how to use those follows pretty similarly to what we just did here. Now the last of the 2D constructions is we have rectangle, circle, and polygon. I will just be going over the rectangle tool and the circle tool. So here we go. Let's click on the rectangle, click on a starting spot, and similar to using the line tool, you can click anywhere you want, or you can type in the dimensions that you want. So let's say we want a 10 by 5 rectangle. So we'll type in 10 feet, 10 with the apostrophe, comma, 5 feet, just like that. And once I press enter, that rectangle is set. Let's click on another point, maybe right here. There is a bit of information down in this bottom left as well. Select opposite corner or enter value, which is what I went over just now. You can click anywhere, you can type in dimensions. Or it does have another suggestion. If you want to change a setting, you can click on control. In this case, if you click on control, you can draw about the center. Let's see what that does. So I'm clicking on the control key. And now you can see from right here, you can see that I'm specifying a distance from the center of the rectangle to the point rather than from a vertex. So there's your rectangle tool. And finally, the circle tool. Let's try this out. Click on circle. Here it's appeared in the Instructor tab. And similarly to before, you can click on any center point. There we go. And specify a radius, either by clicking anywhere you want or by typing in a radius. I'll type in a radius of 2. And click enter. Cool. So that is just about everything. The general overview for what you can do with making 2D objects using line, arc, circle, rectangle, and yes, you can also make polygons. You can even make 3D text if you so wished. You can explore that as well. But let's do this. Let's make a box out of this rectangle that we've made over here. We can do that with just rectangles and lines if we so wish. So let's click on the rectangle tool again. Well, here's circle, and you open that up and you'll find the rectangle tool right here. So far, we've only drawn 2D shapes along the red-green plane. You can draw shapes on other planes as well. How about we start by clicking over here on the origin. And then you can click over here, and then you can move. It's a little bit difficult. You can move up and down as you wish. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. There we go. Now you can see it's green, so the rectangle is perpendicular to the green axis. So here I'll click anywhere right there. And you can see this is also a region, so it is highlighted and filled in. And now things get a little bit easier. So if I want to continue to fill in making a box, I can click on an endpoint here and click on the endpoint down here. And there we go, another face. Now orbit around by pressing down on the middle mouse key. There we go. And I'll continue to use the rectangle tool. Now that I click on this bottom vertex and this top vertex right there, I'll orbit around again. Click on this bottom vertex and then this one right up here. And look at that, even the top rectangle, the top face was filled in. So SketchUp knew or assumed that I would want that filled in. So that's how you can make a box. But that's a little bit time consuming. And that brings us to our last objective, which is using the press pull, or sorry, the push pull tool. That's this one right here on the left. So you click on that one, and any region, any filled in region that you have, you can extrude. Let's start with this circle. Clicked on this circle, and now I can drag up and down. I can even specify a distance. Let's say I want this to be 10 feet tall. So I typed in 10 apostrophe for feet, enter, and there is a cylinder. You can do the same thing with a rectangle, like these. Or if we go back to Freehand sketch, you can draw, drag, don't let go. Draw whatever shape you want, make sure it's closed. It's a little bit hard here. See, clearly I didn't do that. Here, let's connect these. How about I do this? There we go, now it's a region. And I can use push-pull again and extrude that as well. Pretty cool. The last thing with the push-pull tool is, yes, we did pull up on a region. We can also push down. If, for example, I do have the push-pull tool activated, I can click on, let's say, this top face of the cylinder. If I want it to be a little bit shorter, I can click on that face and push it down a little bit. Or I can bring it back up to extrude even more. So the distance in the bottom right corner is the amount that you either want to push down or pull up. In the negative direction downward, that would be negative distance. Or if I want to add height, that would be positive distance. So let's say I want to add negative 5 feet, or take away 5 feet of height. I can put in negative 5 feet and press enter. Except it didn't quite do that, did it? Let's try it again. Let's try negative 5 feet again. There we go. So it depended on where you had your mouse to begin with. And you can press escape whenever you're done. Now at any point, again, throughout this, if you want to rewind, try something again, use this Instructor tab for some tips and hints. You can use those. But otherwise, that is it for this lesson. And I'll see you next time when we try something new. All right, thank you. Bye.